Hi, welcome to the small shed. This week I'm actually going to start and put the boss bunk together. See you in a minute. Now, it's all well and good putting a pair of components together on the workbench, but when you then start to put 20 or 30 components together, any little inaccuracies will tend to creep in and you find things don't necessarily go to plan. So before I actually paint the boss bunk, I want to put it together and make sure that everything fits. And there are certain bits, particularly on the front and the back, that I don't know how they're going to fit together. They're not yet set up to be attached to one another. So once the main carcass is assembled, I can then start and work on the front and the back. And so hopefully this week we'll get the main carcass up, check out that it all works, and then make a start by getting the back end of the bus something like right. Let's go and have a look. Now, I like my jigs and fixtures, but they're the gift that keeps on giving. In this case I'm going to reuse the one that I used to cut the slots in the sides for the cross supports. I've just got myself a small piece of timber the same shape as the hole. I'm going to put that in there, drill 2 holes in a vertical plane with the thing there, and that will give me consistent holes in all of the connectors for the side pieces, the cross pieces. And what I'm also going to do then is to use that same jig over the end . That marks the holes. So now I've got holes there, there and there that should be exactly the same place every time I drill them, so it won't matter whether they're front and back, left and right or anything, they'll always work. And you find it with all these things. I shall use the same principle on the one that I cut the slots with to drill a hole about there, which will again give me a consistent point for the top cross members. So this is why I need to get the mock-up or the test fit done. There are certain areas like here where you've got an intersection between two bits that don't really happily meld together because you can't get a 3D curve on timber. But what it does mean is that about here, from there onwards, you can start to have a round over on the top and on the side that will make it far more tactile and nice. Considering there are only two clamps at the moment holding the front panel in, there's a lot of tightening up still to be done when you put the fixings in. But it does seem to be fairly solid even as it stands. The fact that it's gone together without any rock, any racking in the structure or anything is quite pleasing. It might be over-engineered, but at least it's safe. So that will be that bit to do. Again, I've got to get the bottom foot board where you step into the bus. Get the fixings sorted on that. All the holes are drilled, it just needs resolving to get that sorted. And the same with the actual back panel. And I think then all it'll need is two rear lights, a number plate and a flight of steps, and I don't know whether I've got enough timber for steps left even, but I'll go and have a look in the garage and see what's left. I've got a small piece of a sheet left out of the 9 sheets I had, but we'll go and have a look at that and see if we've got enough. Right, so that's got the back inner panel on now and all screwed up tight. Once again, that's made the whole thing really solid and rigid. There's not any movement there. Quite how easy just to lift this end, I don't know, but yeah, I could just about get it up in the air. So two of us should be able to move this thing around, because you've got to put that face on that side and then move it against the wall effectively. Should fit in there. So all I need, well, I'll just get these fixings in first and then we'll finish putting it all together. That's nearly it then. Now, I'd forgotten about the steps on this bus bunk, and I've only just today thought about it. I've got very little timber left. I called it timber, it's MDF. I'd only got 2 strips that were 80mm wide and a few offcuts. Certainly not got any tall enough to do a ladder that needs to be, over 1 metre long. So I'm just, at the moment, making up a set of steps. I've essentially got some step treads that I've made and rounded over and just cut an angle on the back of them to suit the angle of the ladder. I've got some pieces that are that shape, and essentially all I'm doing is gluing them in place there, then gluing an upright and then gluing the next one on and doing that. And I think that's, by the time you get 2 of them glued together, that should give me plenty of strength when I get 2 of those like that. That will make it all fit up together. And I've pre-rounded them off again, save that effort. And by the time we get that all glued up, I think we'll have a suitable solution. And then at the very top I'm going to do a vertical which will go there, and that'll just bolt to the side of the bus, and I'll see whether or not I do something just to locate the feet as well. But it seemed an easy way out using relatively small pieces of timber. Right, that's it. Test fit complete. A couple of items to just deal with as snagging. Been quite surprised that that side has expanded. The top parts of it, well, and the bottom to some extent, have expanded slightly. Probably because they've been against the radiator. It's not much, but it's enough to make me have to drill a couple of holes out and just open up some of these fixings. It's probably about 2mm over the whole length, which is not a lot, but it just does produce the odd problem where you get joining surfaces. But I'm going to leave that a bit and see how it goes once it's all cooled down to the same sort of temperature. I think it's because they've been stacked up against the radiator, because on this side there's no such problems. I've got to deal with this bit down the bottom that's loose, and I think I'm just going to put a piece rounded like a quadrant mould almost all the way along the back there that will fix into the boss and fix into the base. So that's got us where I want to be. The whole of the main structure seems to work quite well and is pretty solid. I've got the back pretty much resolved now, apart from a few little snagging issues. Next time we'll move on to the front, get all that done in the same manner, get all the final fixings done, and hopefully then it'll be ready for paint. Hope you enjoyed the video. Look forward to seeing you next week, and we'll try and do something different then. I'll see you then. Bye.